Hello friends, welcome to Shauna Stitches. I'm Shauna and this is week 3 of my Tour De Fleece 2025 vlog. So we're starting today, July the 19th, 2025, and we'll be going through, I think it's the 25th for this video, and today is Tour De Fleece day 15 if I'm not counting wrong. Today I wanted to start out the video leaving off where we were last weekend with scouring a pound of merino wool. So if you haven't seen that video and you want to see my process for scouring, go ahead and go back to week 2 of Tour de Fleece for 2025. Today I have my Clems and Clems Lock Pop. This is a tool that you can use to help open up your locks and to get VM out of your fiber if there is any. I have my extra fine Velcro wool combs. These things are so darn sharp. I always heard people say that and I just didn't quite believe it until I punctured myself and made myself bleed. There are 2 of these. They are a set, and I also have the stand that holds one. You clamp this down to your counter and then you can comb your wool. And I have my Ashford. This is a very fine, sorry if you got a shot of my trash can there. We're in the kitchen. Actually, I guess on the island, if you will. But anyway, this drum carder is a 120 tines per inch. And I'm currently using this tool, which says Olivia Garden on it. I don't know. But it is wonderful for cleaning the fleece out of a drum carder. I think it's actually meant to get hair out of a hairbrush, but it's wonderful for this. So that is what I'm using, and I'm cleaning out the old fleece that I processed in this so that I can start fresh today. My goal is to separate, I think we're going to go 30 grams, 2 30-gram sections that I will lock pop open, and 30 grams I will comb, and 30 grams I will put onto my drum carder to make a bat, and then do a sample spin of those to see which process I like better, and also just to see if drum carding will work, because with a extra fine fleece, even though this is a fine drum carder, you're more prone to neps, which I don't really want. So I'm going to give it a try. I have hardly ever combed anything, so it's going to be an experiment. Welcome to the ride. Right now I'm just cleaning my drum carder, but I will check in once I get that fiber separated. Okay, I have separated out 2 bunches of 30 grams. That's what 30 grams of wool looks like, 2 bunches of it. And I'm going to do, I think, I'll lock pop all of one, and I think I'm going to comb first, and then I'll lock pop the second half and drum card. And I know this process is time consuming, probably more than I'm expecting it to be. It's currently 9:47 in the morning, so let's see what happens and where we get to. I wanted to mention that for combing, they say it's important to keep your cut end on one side and the end of the fiber on the other side. I just don't know. I don't think I'm very good at that. And part of it might be the way that I washed it. It just looks like a mess. So I probably will not really keep it that way. I mean, I guess I'll try, but I'm just trying to figure out like where even a lock is and how to go about this. See, it just looks all jumbled. I don't know what I'm doing. Either way, it will be yarn. I guess it just won't be like a pure combed top if the ends are going different directions. But I don't know, we're not purist here, are we? This lock pop really makes the locks so nice, but I am struggling to find locks. I mean, this is one, well, maybe it's more than one, but it's what I pulled off. So this is before the lock pop. And look at that. Ah, it's so pretty. So I do the tip side, then I do the cut side. And there is the cut side. So it's all super fluffy and nice. And I'm just loading up my comb right now. Which, there we go. There's what my comb looks like. I just did one pass on my comb, so from the one that's on the counter onto here, and then I will take this onto there, and I don't know how many times I need to do that. Maybe, well, back and forth, maybe 4 times. Anyway, I want it to end up back on the comb that's on the counter so that I can visit off. I am having an issue with static. I know that that is something that you can do. Some people will spray like essential oils or something on here. I'm just surprised that it's an issue, even though I did the wool conditioner. What was it called? Anyway, it was not the Power Scour, but it's the other one that I did. Anyway, I'm just going to see how it goes. This is what I don't love about any fiber processing. All this is just waste. I don't know, it seems so wasteful. It is waste. I'm still getting a ton of static electricity. I don't know. I haven't combed much. I'm not feeling the love for combing, but I'm at least going to diz off this one piece. I don't know if I'm going to do all 30 grams at this point because it's kind of driving me crazy. Okay, here is my first bit of hand combed top, I guess. Dizzed off my hand card. It is gorgeous. I will not deny that. Super soft. We'll see in the spinning if it's worth all the trouble. Okay, it is 11:24 and I'm having a lot of feelings. First, let me just show you. I do have injuries. There's that one and that. None of them are serious. They really don't even hurt. But as I said, the wool combs are sharp. So let me just tell you where we are, both in wool and mentally, because there are places. Let me show you the good parts first. This is the good parts. I have 5 little nests of hand combed top. They look beautiful, and I wish I could show you what I want to show you. It's really not picking up. To my naked eye, right now, I'm not really seeing them. But as I was combing these, I noticed there are neps. And it's not from second cuts because I did the lock pop first, so that should have got all that out. I'm not really sure why I'm seeing that. Hopefully it's not so evident in the spinning, but there's that. And then let's look at this next. This is what I have. This is still in the washed format, but I was trying to do one more nest and I just realized I'm at a point now where every time I try and pull off something that looks like a lock to me and I put it on the lock pop, it's so jumbled that it's really just pulling it all off. So I really can't get anything else usable from that. And then this is not all of it either, but this is our pile of waste. Some of it I threw directly in the trash because it like had either VM in it or it was just really teeny tiny, like obvious neps. But the rest of this, I will try to pass through the drum carder after I do my drum card experiment. But that being said, I need to weigh this. Let's see how much waste we actually have. Oh, and there's this that I had on my comb that I don't have enough to combine with it. So let me grab the scale real quick. Okay, so of course I can't even, this was a bad idea. My waist is 13 grams. What I was going to tell you is that, okay, so out of 30 grams, almost half was waste, but no, because I did throw some in the trash. So let's weigh our actual combed top, if we can get it to sit on the scale. Oh, it keeps tumbling right off. I didn't grab my little container, so there we go. We have a tower of, okay, well, 16 grams. So it is about half. I don't know how I feel about that. It's just, I mean, I think that's a number I've heard, but it's just a lot. And like I said, I didn't keep the locks together. I'm sure there's things that I could have done better, but I just don't know about this process. I'm still really unsure. So I'm praying that the drum carder works and that I get something that's usable, because I don't think I could imagine processing, hand combing an entire fleece. I think I might lose my will to live if I did that. So now, I'm not going to deal with the waste yet. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to take the next 30 grams, and I'm still going to do the lock pop and put it on the carder. And we're going to see what happens, because this is an experiment and we are learning here. Okay, I've already gone on a pivot because I'm not loving using the lock pop for this. And I'm hoping this is going to work. So all I'm doing is just opening up the locks, not lock popping. I did find a second cut, so I pulled that out. If I see anything weird, I will pull it out. I'm just opening things up till it's very gauzy looking. And then I'm putting it on my drum carder that you can't see, and I'm pulling it in. Now, drum carding takes more than one pass, so it's not looking fabulous, and there's not enough to show you yet, but we're going for it. Okay, there it is. All 30 grams are on. And I think my finger's in the way of the camera. There we go. All 30 grams are onto the wheel, or the drum carder. And you can see I don't really have a lot of waste showing up on the liquor in, which is the small drum. So now I'm going to pull this off, and obviously it needs several cycles back through to kind of even it out, but I'll show you what the bat looks like for the first pass. Okay, here it is. There's what the bat looks like after the first pass. I think it actually looks pretty darn good. I mean, it still needs some more blending, but I don't hate it. That's a good sign. It's very soft. So what I'll do is I will break this into strips. Harder than it looks. Several strips, probably, I don't know, 4. And then I take a strip and maybe let's do 8. There we go. So there's an 1/8 of a bat. I just take that and I fan it out. And then this will be what I feed back through the drum carder. So it's already nice and see-through. So that's the next step. Okay, here we are after the second pass, and I think this is just looking so beautiful. Really happy with it. There's the part that was against the drum. It looks so much smoother than it did. And I have picked out a few neps here and there, but not a lot. I think there's still some in here, but I think that's going to be unavoidable because I was seeing it in the comb top. I'm just making sure to spin that wheel very, very slowly, which is supposed to help with, I guess, neps, especially in fine fiber, are created when the fiber snaps back. Also, you know, second cuts will do it too. But yeah, this is beautiful. I don't know how many more passes I'm going to do. I think that would be totally spinnable. But I will give it another pass through and see. Let's see, it is 12:34 right now. So this is a bit time consuming, but rerunning it back through is much faster than it was just putting the locks on there. So yeah, I'm happy with this. And I really hope this spins up well because I'm liking this way better than the combing. Although I think I'm still leaning towards liking prepared spinning fiber better. I don't know. I haven't spun very many bats either, so we'll see. Let's go for another pass. Okay, I'm back after a third pass on the drum carder, and I don't think I'm going to do another one. I actually think maybe I should have stopped at 2. It's not terrible, but I kind of had it in my head. I remember Rachel from Wool and Spinning had said she puts hers through the carder 4 to 5 times. And what I'm finding is as I keep going, I'm seeing more neps. So they almost seem more like tangles because, I don't know, it's like the ends are tangled together. Anyway, I pulled out a few. I think you can actually see some of them, maybe. Like, I think that's one right there. So I'll just pull them out when I spin. It's not a big deal to me. Let's see how much this bat weighs. I really feel like I was able to utilize most of the fiber. Yes, 28 grams. 28 versus 16, or no, was it 16? Yeah, 16 for the combed. So I think it's quite nice, and that took me all dang day, and that's another reason why, sorry, my scale wouldn't turn off. That's another reason why I just don't know that this is for me, because I only have so much time, and I really like to be productive during my time, I guess I would say. As I'm looking at this, there's another one. Oh, where did it go? Well, it's not important. It has neps, let's just put it that way. So I'm very curious to see what the yarn is going to come out like. If I'm being true to the prep, I should spin this long draw, and I should spin this short forward or whatever, worsted style. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but I probably will spin everything, so all of the combed to its own bobbin and all of this to its own bobbin, and then I'll probably just create a center pull ball and do a 2-ply. That seems like the easiest, but I don't know. I have to decide what I'm going to do right now. It's already 12:55. So like I said, I spent all day doing this. I need to pack up my tools and figure out my next step. As I was getting ready to pack up my drum carder, I remembered that I had wanted to card the waste from my combing. So that is how it turned out. I only did 2 passes because this is going to be textured no matter what. There are for sure neps. There are just, like, you can see them. They're everywhere, all throughout. This would be a very textured yarn, which isn't something I normally spin at all, but I kind of want to just do the experiment of it. It could be really interesting. Probably not something I would do a big project of, but since I had it and I was going to throw it out anyway, I was like, why not give it a shot? So let's see. With this one, the liquor in that small drum caught a lot more of the fiber, but still not a ton. So this is 14 grams of really crazy fiber. Okay, now for sure I'm really packing everything up because I've been standing since, I don't know, 9 something when I started this. It's 1:13 and my feet are sore and tired. I'm back. It has been such a busy, fibery day, but absolutely no spinning whatsoever. I decided to wind off my yarn from my 3-ply combo spin to see, well, first of all, so I would have empty bobbins. And now I have 4 empty bobbins, which is great. I have other bobbins because I've bought several of the Dreaming Robots bobbin packs, but I just wanted to clear these off so that I can ply the 3-ply sunset yarn that I've been working on. And so this was a lot of winding off. These 2 here, oh gosh, I just dropped yarn. These 2 here are both the same, as in they are all 3 plies from 3 different skeins, and yeah, I don't know how else to explain that. These are the same. This one is what was left over of just 2 of the skeins, So it is 2 plies of Targhee and 1 ply of Polworth. Whereas this one is Polworth, Rambouillet, and Targhee. The Rambouillet ran out first. And then from all that, I had just the teeniest, tiniest little bit left. And this is a chain ply of Polworth only. So in total, I'm gonna go ahead and count this skein in with these because I think it's close enough that if I used it in a project together, if I helical knit it in or use it for cuffs or something, I think it will work. I don't think it's that drastically different. So the total yardage of this is before washing, is, it's 351.2 grams of yarn, 1,144 yards, and that makes for a grist of 1,478 yards per pound, or it's telling me a sport weight yarn. I do expect it will plump up in the wash. It probably will be a sport. It's measuring fingering right now. And this little teeny tiny bit is 4.7 grams or 17 yards for a grist of 1,641 yards per pound, also sport weight. So that's gonna go in the wash. If I didn't say so already, if you hear mowing, my husband is back there mowing the backyard, and I'm gonna get that in the wash and then maybe start plying. I'm so exhausted, and I've done nothing but prepare fiber and count yardage. I don't know why that's so exhausting, but also maybe my week from last week is catching up to me. But I'm gonna go put this in a hot bath. Hello friends, happy Sunday. It is July the 20th of 2025, and it is Tour De Fleece day 16, I'm pretty sure. I have spent all morning working on a knitting project. It is now noon. This is what I have so far. And this is the hand spun that I showed you in the last video, I think. This is a singles yarn, my only singles I've ever spun ever. I spun this in 2021, Tour De Fleece. And the other is a core spun, and also, well, the core is merino. No, the core is mohair. And then it's wrapped with, I don't know what the fiber is. It's like brown and teal and white with sparkle. Let's see, can I find sparkle? I don't know, there was a huge section that I just knit up. See that sparkle right there? It's like a teal sparkle. And then I plied it with mohair again. So I could not be happier with my choice of deciding to use these yarns for a emotional support chicken. This one is very rough. Like, it doesn't feel rough in my hands, but knitting it feels a bit rough. I think it's the sparkle plus the mohair wrap, maybe. This is actually very soft, but it's quite thick and thin. But I think it really works for a chicken. I feel like my lighting is terrible today. It's very gloomy. See, can you see outside? Kind of. It's like 62 degrees and I'm freezing. So anyway, this is more like what the chicken will look like when it gets seamed together. So that's the chicken butt, and we are working our way up the body. This is for a knitting challenge called Shark Week, and I essentially have a week to knit this chicken, or I have to frog it because I got ate by the shark. So that is a priority. That's why I have been working on that so much this morning. But I did do some spinning last night that I did not record. I just recorded so much yesterday. I was like, I don't feel like recording this, but let me show you what I did. Check it out. I plied the sunset yarn that I was spinning, and I got to a point where the first bobbin ran out, which was my most recent bobbin. Clearly it must be just a bit thicker, even though I swear they all look the same. So I did my trick of winding one of the singles onto my yarn cake maker ball winder, that's what it's called. And then I have the remaining singles right here. That's what I have left. So I'm gonna go ahead and ply those up just like I did with my 3-ply combo spin, and I'll see how far it gets me. And anything I have left, I will chain ply. And I think a chain ply won't look like a self-striping in this, I hope. Hopefully I can use it all in the same project. That's my goal anyway. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do some plying, and then depending on how long that takes me, I do have something else that I wanna chain ply, but I'll talk about that if and when I get there. Okay, I made quick work of that. There is what I have of the cake and the other ply that was left on the bobbin. And this is what I have left of my cake that I was using the inside and outside from. So this was my very first single, and I don't know how I spun it so much thinner when it looks the same thickness, but I clearly have so much more yardage. So I'm going to try to put this on my Lazy Kate just by sliding it where my thumb is and then using the outside to make a chain ply, but I honestly don't know how that's gonna work. Usually when I'm chain plying, it's what's left on the bobbin. I just had so much more of this one. So I don't know, it could be a lost cause. I could just 2-ply the rest of this. I just think it's gonna be super thin and I probably wouldn't use it for anything. So chain ply would be more useful. I was just gonna continue to do the chain ply on this same bobbin, but now that I am thinking about it, I do think it's gonna be somewhat self-striping. So I don't know that it will be usable with the other yarn, but we're gonna see how this works and if I can salvage any of these singles. That idea was very short-lived, so much so I didn't even make it to the bobbin. I was just trying to pull off the single from the Lazy Kate, and somehow I was pulling from the outside, but just those, oh, I think I broke, no, I didn't break it. Just those couple of revolutions made the center ply so tight that it wasn't spinning around the Lazy Kate anymore. So I'm gonna try for the 2-ply just because, like I said, I don't like to waste the yarn. I can definitely knit this into my, oh my gosh, I have fluff on my nose. I can knit this into my, what's it called? It's not the Cozy Memories. Anyway, the one with the strips, you know what I'm talking about. Oh gosh, I didn't show it in this video, so maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. I talked about it in video 2. I have a hand spun only jelly roll blanket. That's what it's called. So I can knit pretty much any weight within reason and any amount. So I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, here are my, gosh, the lighting is so dark. Here are my 2-ply singles. 2-ply, oh my gosh. Maybe I need to go back to bed. Here's my 2-ply plied yarn, not singles. I had quite a bit on here. And as I was plying this up, my thought was, I think I could actually hold this double with the regular 3-ply, and I think it'd be about the same because apparently I spun this bobbin so darn thin. So that's my thought for that. That means all of this spin is now plied, and probably next weekend I will put it on the Nitty Naughty, figure out my pre-wash yardage, wash it, all that stuff. Maybe I'll do it sooner, but that's kind of my thought. But I think I will work on chain plying this. Now this is half of a braid by Greenwood Fiber. I do not remember the name of it off the top of my head, but this I actually started spinning on my drop spindle for the 3-ply 2 ways challenge that Andrea Mowry was doing. And so I finished the half. I can't figure out why this looks so dark today. Anyway, I hope you're seeing it better than I am. So this is the first half, and I started the first single for the traditional 3-ply, and I'm doing this where I'm combo drafting 2 pieces together. So essentially what I did is I took a third of a half of the fiber and I split that third into halves, and then I just reversed them. So some of the colors line up, but some don't. So not that this is a great representation, but you see the colors are much more clean on the bobbin versus here. they look a little bit more blended together, I guess. So I'm not going to work on this right now, but I am going to friendly chain play this because this is one of the bobbins up bobbins, and I only have 3 of them. And in order to ply the traditional 3-ply, I'll need all 3 of those. And they don't make them anymore. Isn't that sad? I sure wish I would have bought more than 3, but I can make 3 work. I just need to not be lazy about plying. I did it. I finished my chain ply, and I think it looks pretty darn good. I don't know how this is going to be for socks. I believe the fiber is Polworth, and I remembered that the colorway name is Arcade. I really can't wait to get that on the Nitty Naughty and really see all the colors, but I love it. I don't, however, love chain plying. It's not terrible, but I don't think you can see it. I felt like I was cutting my finger because where I pull up the loop, it tended to like go in that little crevice, and that kind of hurts. So I'm very glad to be done, and I think I'm done spinning for the day. So I will see you tomorrow. Happy Monday! It's July 21st, 2025, and Tour De Fleece Day 17. I just happened to see online that today is a rest day for Tour de France, but I haven't taken a rest day yet. That being said, I don't have big plans for today, but I don't know quite what to do. So my options or my thoughts are to get started on this spin, which would be the 5th and final skein of the gradient that I've been working on for a long time, since like 2020, or to start spinning some of the merino fleece that I processed. And gosh, I just don't know what to do. I feel like this isn't a lot. This is like 60 grams total, less than, I think. But I also really want to start this. This is when I need like instant gratification and answers from you guys, but I can't get that. So, gosh, I think since I know the fleece is clean, processing or spinning what I've processed isn't like the biggest thing for me right now. So I think I'm going to start this, which means I'm going to weigh the braid. I'm going to divide it equally into 3. And for this, because the braid is pretty much the same throughout, I just unbraid it and I'll split it into 3 equal sections rather than stripping it lengthwise, not ways. Anyway, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'll get this going and I'll get the first third separated and dizzed and just started on my wheel. That sounds like a fairly light day. Okay, I have a little update. There is how it's looking. It is a darker color than I kind of thought it would be based on how the fiber looks. This is the same exact fiber. It's the Ashford Merino Silk 80/20 Sliver, and it's in the color Pomegranate. So this is the exact same fiber that I was spinning and that I just got done plying in the sunset color. And this is my last braid of this. I'm very excited. I will be so happy to be done with it. But yeah, not bad for a rest day, I think. And I'm gonna go do other things now. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Hello, it's Tour De Fleece Day 18 and July 22nd of 2025. And I am picking up this spin on my electric eel wheel 6, where I left off yesterday. I did not show you. This is how much fiber I have left for the first bobbin. So I'm going to work on that today, but I don't know that I'm going to spin a ton today. For the first time in quite some time, my finger that I have osteoarthritis in started hurting while I was at work today. Not prompted by anything, and that's what's always so weird about it. It's just like for no reason, it seems like. It's feeling okay now, though. I have this little brace I put on, and if I can get that on, I kind of like at the first sign of it hurting and wear it for a while, it seems to really help. So we'll see how it goes and if it's causing me any pain, but I will at least make a little bit of progress today and that will meet my goal. So that's all I really care about. Okay, I am done for the day. That's how much I got done. And you see, I was kind of bad about remembering to move my hooks today. I have some lumpy bits there and there. But we left off, or we started today, I guess I should say, like right at that dark spot there, all the way to there. So not terrible progress. And my chunk of fiber that's left to go for bobbin 1 is substantially smaller than it was, which is always encouraging. It's never good when you feel like you have spun and spun and spun, and then you pick up that chunk of fiber and it feels like it's exactly the same. That being said, I'm very anxious to get this spin done. I would love to be able to finish it this Tour de Fleece. I just don't know if that's going to happen. But wouldn't that be wonderful if all of our 5-color fade was completed this Tour de Fleece? That would be really wonderful. That's my goal. I also would really like to spin some of the merino that I prepped, but we shall see what the next few days brings us, because I can't remember what day. Let's see, Friday. It ends Sunday, I think. So that doesn't give us a whole lot of time, but we'll see what we can get done. My current thought is that I would like to continue spinning even after Tour de Fleece, and then just not having to record. Well, I know I say having to. It's my own choice to record, which I do enjoy sharing with you all. But I think some of the pressure of not doing that daily would be helpful. But I have thought this in the past where I'm going to keep going, and spinning is the first thing that I set aside to do knitting. So we'll see if I can just keep with the minimum of 5 minutes a day. I think I can keep up with it and also make forward progress, even if it's slow. And that would be a good goal. I have a lot of fiber in my stash that I would like to spin. So that's my thought for the day. I will talk to you tomorrow. Happy hump day. It's Wednesday, July the 23rd. 2025, and it is Tour de Fleece Day 19, which is really hard to believe. I saw MellyKnits post that there are 5 days of Tour de Fleece left. I'm not sure if that counts today or if that's not counting today. I haven't done my own math. I just know that's what she posted. This is where we left off yesterday, and a quick reminder, more for myself than for you, but this is how much fiber I have left for this first braid, or first bobbin, I should say. I'm just thinking with 5 days, I don't think there's any way I can finish the spin. I mean, maybe if I really dedicate a lot of time this weekend, but we'll see, I guess. No pressure. Speaking of no pressure, a friend sent me a link to the World of Wool, which is out of the UK, for their fiber advent. And I was not going to do a fiber advent this year, but of course I did. Of course. And initially I wasn't, even after they sent it, I went and looked at it. I wasn't going to, because shipping from the UK can be a lot. But then I started looking at reviews online, what other years advents have been. And I caved. Everyone was saying it's such a great deal, and it is, even with shipping to my house in Oregon. It came to like $175, not shipping, like total. And you get 50 grams of fiber a day, and of course 25 of those for Advent. And that's a lot of fiber. Someone said it's over 2 pounds. I didn't do the math myself, but anyway, it's a decent deal. I've paid way more for fiber advents years past, and I already know no way I can keep up with that at all, but I am kind of looking forward to it. And I really am set on continuing to keep spinning, so hold me to that when it's the day after Tour de Fleece and I'm not recording and I'm not being accountable to anyone to tell me to get on my wheel. So yeah. That's my thoughts for the day. Now I'm going to do some spinning. Okay, I think I'm at a stopping point for today. Here is my bobbin. So I made it to the very end and I started coming back to about there. And I am so close to having the fiber for bobbin number 1 done. That's it. That's everything. Part of me really wants to keep spinning on it, but the other part of me knows I need to do some work on this emotional support chicken. So I'm pretty sure I've mentioned on here that I'm doing the Shark Week challenge. So if I don't finish this by Sunday, then I have to rip the whole thing out, which I can't even imagine. This is all my hand spun, which, well, except for the yellow and the red. Everything else is my hand spun, which I am pretty darn proud of. It's quite amazing that, especially the singles of the pinky maroon color, that is very thick and thin, but it's working. And of course you saw this brown with the teal. It's very like a textured yarn. It works amazingly in this. So if you have some very unique yarns, I do recommend this pattern. However, part of me doesn't recommend the pattern because it's not written very well. There's a lot of run-on sentence areas where, like, I don't know, I can't give it a perfect example, but like 5 or more rows will all just be written in one paragraph, not like by line. It's very interesting writing, to say the least. I've followed a lot of knitting patterns and I've never seen it like that before. And the other thing is, when I got to having, I did the beak and then I was sewing on is this the comb, I think, and this is the wattle. Nowhere does it tell you when or how to start sewing up the beak, the neck, like how to do it and when. It doesn't tell you when and where to put the eyes. So I just totally winged it. She's got 2 eyeballs. And she's a very flat emotional support chicken at this point. So right now there's like a gusset piece that goes here, and then you sew it all up somehow because it doesn't actually tell you. But luckily it's not the first thing I've ever seamed. I think I should be able to figure it out. And many people have figured it out, so it can't be that difficult. I was just a bit disappointed that it's a paid-for pattern and really doesn't give you a lot of detail and certainly does not appear to have been tech edited. So that's my complaint, but I'm just going to suck it up and knit my chicken. Anyway, I will talk to you tomorrow. Hello, it is Tour De Fleece Day 20 already, which makes it July the 24th. And I have something exciting to show you. It is not, well, it kind of is my spinning, but it's not my spinning. I finished my chicken. She is a hand spun chicken, and I have decided to name her Henny Penny after the kids book, which I loved as a kid, but just Penny for short. I think Henny Penny is a bit of a mouthful. But yep, she is done and I'm quite happy with her. The one thing that I wish is that it would have used more yarn. I know hand spun is not exactly easily converted to like yardage for a regular commercial yarn, but I used like 73 grams. That's it. And I could easily make another chicken. I would have enough of the maroon, and I would have, actually, I think I would even have enough to reverse the colors. At least by grams. I don't know by yards, but I don't know. I don't really want another chicken, I don't think, but maybe I'll change my mind. But anyway, quite happy with her, and now I'm going to do some spinning. So this is where I left off yesterday, and I'm so close to done with this bobbin. There it is. I think I'm going to try to finish this, and then I think I'm going to pause this, even though I really would like to finish it during Tour de Fleece. I don't think I will. So I'm going to pause this, and then I'm going to spin some of that merino that I processed so that I can describe for you and show you the yarn that I've made out of that. Since I went through the whole scouring and carding, combing process, it would be nice to be able to tell you and show you what it looks like spun up. So that is my goal. I probably won't get started on the merino today, but I would like to at least finish this bobbin. I have an update. First bobbin is finished. That is an awesome feeling. I'm actually just got done cooking dinner and waiting for my husband to finish showering, and then we're gonna eat. But I'm thinking that I will try spinning the combed top first because it's only 16 grams if I remember correctly. And oh man, that's so soft. I am super curious to see how this spins up. So that will be the first thing that I spin probably after dinner. I think I will get started, but I don't know how far I'll make it. It's hard to judge, like how long will it take me to spin 16 grams? Did I say 16 ounces? It's definitely not 16 ounces. Anyway, off to dinner. I'm back. So I just finished spinning my first little, I don't know what you call this, a nest, a cloud. It's not the same as spinning from the clouds. That's probably the wrong term, but it's comb top. And here is what it's looking like on the bobbin. Initially, I thought, oh, you won't be able to see it because it's on a white bobbin. But now that it's actually getting spun, it looks very white, I would say, in the cloud. But you can actually see, I knew I'd ordered a kind of silvery colored fleece. And once the fibers kind of get compacted together, you can see that it is just a little hint of gray. I might have liked something just a little touch darker, but I mean, you can't custom order color cheap, you know, like they make what they make. So it's super nice to spin. I really like it. So, you know, I remember when I was processing this and I was like, ooh, I don't like the combing process at all. It just takes so long. There's so much waste. I don't know. That being said, this is quite lovely. If the bat doesn't come out, I might have to convince myself to do this process. There were a few neps as I was spinning along, and I don't quite understand why, because I thought the combing process was supposed to get rid of those. But there's not a ton, and it's okay. The drafting is absolutely wonderful. It just drafts so easy. But it's like, you know, when you have a super slippery fiber and it drafts too easy and it wants to pull apart, it's not like that. The staple length is great. It's much better than the merino that I'm spinning in the Ashford merino silk blend. It's that staple, I swear it's like an inch. It's just so short. But this is great. It's definitely probably 3 to 4 inches, so you can really pull out a nice long section, smooth it back, and the spinning just feels very rhythmic and soothing and not stressful. Because that merino silk spin is a bit stressful because I'll get to like that really short bit and it just feels like the wheel's going to pull it right out of my hand and I kind of have to pinch extra hard. I don't know. This is really nice. So I'm going to spin on these for a little bit longer, and I don't know. Let's see, what time is it? It's not that late for all you people that stay up later, but I think it's about 6:15 p.m. here. And right around 7, I have to start getting ready for bed, like winding down. I swear it takes me like an hour. So anyway, because it will be a 4 a.m. wake up for the gym tomorrow. Tomorrow will be exactly 2 weeks going to the gym. I haven't missed a day yet. The alarm has woken me up. That's great. So yes, I'm going to spin. I'll check in with you when I'm done for the day. Okay. Time flies when you're having fun, and it's time for me to go do dishes and get ready for bed. But there is my update. It's spinning up really nice, very consistent, very happy with it. I'm getting about 30 wraps per inch. I haven't been super, measuring it or anything, but every time I've checked, that's what it is. And I have spun 3 of the little 5 nests that I have. So I was hoping to get this done tomorrow so that I could ply it, or today so that I could ply it tomorrow. But we'll work on it tomorrow. I won't say we'll get it done because I don't know how plying from a center pull ball after just having finished the spin will be. I think it will be maybe too energized, but we'll get these at least spun into singles tomorrow. And that will be, tomorrow will be the last video for this vlog. And I'm going to do another video just for the last 2 days because this one's long enough as it is. So I will chat with you tomorrow. Happy Friday! Boy, am I glad the work week is over. I just got home from work. I'm so tired. It's been a long week. I am picking up where I left off yesterday. I have 2 little nests of combed top from the merino fleece that I scoured. And that is what the bobbin is looking like. And I'm realizing your incentive for catching the final video that I'm going to film yet for Tour De Fleece would be to find out my grand totals, because I still don't know. One of the things that I have to do this weekend is to nitty-naughty skein up my yarn that I've recently plied that hasn't been washed yet, and my reskein my yarn, my combo spin, to see what the after washing yardage is. And I will try to get a somewhat close grand total for yardage and weight spun. Some of it, was spun prior to this year, but we're going to include all finished yarn because we can. So anyway, I'm going to get these spun up and probably get started on the bat, I think. And just like that, the singles for my hand combed top are done. And just like I mentioned yesterday, I don't think I'll go straight into caking this up to ply just yet. I just don't want it to be a disaster. So I think I will go ahead and work on the bat on a different bobbin. And this is what my bat looks like. It's very soft and pretty. I think what I'm going to do is split this in half, 2 separate bobbins. I think I will try to spin half of it long draw, which I am not very good at, and half of it a regular worsted, so it would make a semi-worsted yarn. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm just going to eyeball it for these purposes, sampling, if you will. It doesn't have to be exact or perfect. I just want a good bit of fiber that I can experiment with. So wish me luck on long draw. I don't know if you have any tips at all. I've done it a few times, somewhat successfully, but I just never feel like I'm getting it. It's not clicking in my brain. And some people say it's just the most fluid, easy, no thought to it. That's not my experience. So I know I'm just not there yet, but if you have any tips on getting there, I know practice, 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 right? So I'm going to get some practice and I will check back in with you soon. I have a helper. He's such a great long drawer. He just won't tell me his secrets. Anyway, there is a little bit that I've gotten started. It's going okay. Everyone says that the beauty of a woolen spun is not in the singles, it's in the plying. And, it's just thicker and thinner than I would like. I tend to be a fairly consistent spinner, so it's just like outside of my comfort zone. That being said, I did diz that half a bat just to make it into a roving, because I just thought that would be a little bit easier to long draw off of. I don't know if I'm right or not. I'm not going to be able to say this name, and I cannot remember her actual name, but the channel name is like Minj Woljan or something. It's not English, so I'm saying it wrong, even if I have the letters correct. But she spins long draw like straight from a bat, from a big old bat. I just haven't tried that yet, so maybe I should. Ollie says hello. He wants to learn to spin. Oh, he's such a cute boy. Okay, back to long draw. I'm back. It's quite a bit later, but not because I've been spinning this whole time. I did have dinner. But I finished the long draw singles. So it's about the same amount of fiber. Actually, I think it's going to be better if I just take the bobbin off of the e-spinner to be able to show you the comparison here. So there's the long draw, and here is the comb top. How to best show this? I think it's kind of interesting. I don't know how much you can see it there, but the color looks just slightly different with the long draw compared to the comb top. It just seems, I don't know. It just looks different. I don't know how to describe it. I think maybe because the fibers aren't compacted quite as much, but I don't really know. Also interesting that that's approximately the same amount of fiber, and you can see how much air is in that long draw one because it just looks like it takes up more room. The long draw was tricky. I'm not good at it. The one really tough spot, I'm collecting some things here to show you. This was a rough spot. Oops. Oh yeah, it's hard to show neps. There we go. These are the neps that I picked out. I would say there weren't a ton of them. It was a bit annoying. In a big spin, of course, you're going to have more, but it would still hopefully be proportional. I really think that just 2 passes on the drum carder would have saved me some of those neps because I really started to see them come out after the 3rd pass. And the other thing I might try is if you watch Rachel of Wool and Spinning, or if you don't, I suggest you do. But she has talked about what she calls the Deej method. And Deej is one of the community members there at Wool and Spinning. And she came up with a method for taking scoured wool to the drum carder, I guess in a more organized fashion and a more open fashion. Anyway, she takes the locks. She puts them onto her blending board first. She makes a bat on the blending board. And then she takes the bat and strips it down and then puts it onto the drum carder. And Rachel says that makes her take less passes. So possibly doing that and then carding it twice. I don't know. It's just going to take some more experimentation. But for sure, I want to ply those up and see how they look. But I'm not done yet. I'm going to take the other half of the fiber. I probably will diz this as well. And this is the other half of the bat. And I'm going to do the semi-worsted spin. So I'll be smoothing it back, but since it's a woolen prep, that's what makes it this. Is it semi-worsted or semi-woolen? I don't know, but either way, has to do with the prep and how you're spinning it. So we'll see how that compares to the 2 bobbins we already have. I'm here with an update on my worsted style woolen prepped singles, semi-worsted yarn. That's what I have so far. And so there is, so difficult. There is the difference between the woolen is on the wheel and the worsted is on this bobbin. And I mean, definitely these are falling somewhere between these two, which makes sense. But the actual spinning process, it drafts very much like the combed top did, pretty smoothly. A little bit more resistance because the fibers are jumbled up. But the neps are so much more apparent as I'm smoothing things down. So at least with this preparation, if this was as good as I could get a bat to come out, I think that the long draw and hopefully getting practice to where I could do a good job on that that would be the way to go with that prep. The combing is quite nice. Now, granted, my opinion could change very much after plying things. I don't know. I just know that I'm having to stop and pick out neps very often in this prep. This is what my dizzed bat looks like. And it's quite hard to show you. You know, and some of them you can't even see, but you just, as you're smoothing yarn, you can just feel a lump pass under your fingers. And I haven't really saved any on there. I'm trying to pick them off, but you can see how like there's remnant of a nep there. And yeah, there's just quite a lot of them. So I don't know. I'm going to withhold my final thoughts until I do have plied and finished yarn. But that isn't going to be until the next video for sure. Maybe after that, but I'm hoping to really focus on this weekend so I can compare and contrast these preparations and spinning and get a good idea about maybe what I would like to do with a good majority of the rest of that fleece. I should have soaked some of it so that I could start washing, but I have enough to do this weekend. I don't think washing fleece is going to be added to the list. So I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I'm going to continue to keep spinning this, and I will check in with you in the next video. Tour de Fleece is almost over. If you've been spinning along, I would love to know what has been your favorite spin so far. Like if you know the fiber, the preparation, and did you do a 2-ply, 3-ply, chain ply, you know, that kind of stuff. I would just love to hear all about it. It's too bad that YouTube doesn't let people do photo comments, because I would love to see it too. But yeah, feel free to tag me on Instagram, Shauna Stitches. I would love to see your spins and maybe anything that you knit with them too. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining me for this special episode or edition, or I don't even know, this special video all about Tour de Fleece and what I've been spinning. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.